Welcome to Tuesday. I'm your host, Fairy Princess Lolly. At the end of today's segment, you'll be asked to vote on what our hero does next, so make sure you listen all the way through. Today we'll be reading the Choose-o-matic book Time Travel Dinosaur. It's a sci-fi comedy reimagining of the choose-your-own-adventure style books. Time Travel Dinosaur by Matt Youngmark. You find yourself lying chin down on a threadbare rug in an unfamiliar room. Slowly, the fog in your head starts to lift. You glance around to see a bearded, wild-eyed man with 20 pounds of cobbled-together machinery strapped to his chest. He's working at a whiteboard frantically, rubbing out sections with his fist and filling in new numbers with a dry erase marker. This year, if everything has gone as planned, should be 1983, and it's a pretty safe bet that this guy is your mission objective. Your ears perk up and you absent-mindedly scratch your neck with your hind leg. We should mention at this point that you're currently inhabiting the body of a Labrador Retriever. The Time Travel Investigation Agency might sound like an exciting place to work, but you've learned that the actual business of time travel investigation is unbelievably dull. There are several hard and fast physical laws that govern time travel, and those laws tend to make quantum exploration a remarkably boring affair. First, you can't travel to any period before November 5th, 1931, presumably the date that time travel was invented. This puts some fairly severe limits on time travel as a means to clarify the historical record. You also can't visit any date after August 12th, 2271, although nobody knows why. No investigator who has ever looked into it has ever returned to file a report, which tends to discourage further study. Second, you can't send physical matter through time, so your actual body doesn't make the trip. You can only transfer your consciousness into a body that already exists in the targeted time period. It's called the Bacula principle. If your own body is alive and well at whatever age, you'll automatically snap into it. But if you travel before your birth or after your death, you can float around a bit and select a convenient host, which explains the Labrador Retriever. It also explains how a recent college graduate like yourself got hired as a time travel investigator. The fewer years you've been alive, the more years you have to travel the time stream freely without being pulled into a younger version of yourself. Third, the whole idea that you can alter the past is a fantasy, since alternate time streams would break Einstein's theory of relativity. There's only one reality, so if you travel back in time and accomplish anything at all, that action is already a part of history before you get there. Your boss, Professor Venkatamaran, insists that this doesn't necessarily prove that all human decisions are predestined, but the subtleties are lost on you. What it definitely means is that no one can go back in time and stop Hitler, though many have tried, or accidentally screw up the past. All of this, in turn, would seem to mean that your job is largely pointless. In fact, all you really do is visit miscellaneous crackpots between the years of 1931 and 1990 to verify that they aren't involved in miscellaneous time travel shenanigans. Spoiler alert, they never are. Sure, the agency will occasionally discover a rare case where some joker manages to travel back and feed himself winning lottery numbers, and then retroactively build a time machine with the winnings. But you have yet to uncover anything like that, and if your luck holds out, you never will. The paperwork required to report self-inducing chronology loop is mind-boggling. As you observe your mark, you're increasingly convinced that you have nothing to worry about. He seems intent on giving his dog a play-by-play description of everything he's doing, which is making your job remarkably easy. He also seems to be under the impression that his dog is a government spy, which is making your job hilarious. "This is it, Betsy," he says, vaguely gesturing at a digital clock on his chest that looks like it was yanked from the dashboard of an Oldsmobile. "In exactly 1 minute, the fabric of the universe will tear open, and I'll remove myself from the space-time continuum completely." Yeah, this guy's nuts. You start making the mental preparations to terminate the mission and transfer your consciousness back to the present day. Meanwhile, Mad Science Guy continues to rant. "Tell them I did it, Betsy!" The timer on his chest is at 45 seconds. "Tell your secret masters that I've conquered reality itself. By the time you—" Before he can finish, a shimmering blue portal appears in the air behind him. An exact duplicate of the scientist leaps out of it, holding what looks like an antique revolver, and shoots the original version right in the face. What the fudge? The portal collapses shut, and the second scientist flashes you a grin, cackling wildly. He fiddles with the dial on his chest rig and opens up a new portal that he dives into, leaving you alone with the corpse of his alternate self. You're not entirely sure what you just witnessed. Did this guy just break all the unbreakable laws of quantum mechanics? Physically traveling through time, killing his past self? That's at least 2. You need a moment to process all of this, but you realize that if the second portal closes as quickly as the first one did, you don't have that moment to spare. Then again, you're pretty much in a dog at the moment. What can you possibly hope to accomplish by chasing after him? And now, dear listeners, the choice is yours. If you jump into the portal and pursue the scientist, write option 1 in the comment section below. If you immediately report back to your superiors at the Time Travel Investigation Agency, write option 2 in the comment section below, and we'll continue next week.